the 19-year-old alien princess, stood on the observation deck of the towering starship, her eyes like liquid silver scanning the human envoy who had been sent to negotiate a trade agreement. She was known across her home planet for her sharp tongue and quick temper, and she had heard tales of human arrogance. When he arrived, he bowed deeply, offering a gesture of respect that seemed meaningless in her eyes. She laughed, a sound like chimes clashing in a storm, and said in a tone dripping with disdain, "You humans are always so eager to make fools of yourselves. Your technology is primitive, your diplomacy even weaker." The human, tall and composed, looked at her for a moment. There was no anger in his eyes, no sign of offense. He simply straightened his back, adjusted the sleeves of his uniform, and replied with a calmness that was almost unnatural. "I have come to negotiate, not to compete in your games of insults." The princess raised an eyebrow, amused by his restraint. Few dared to speak without flinching under her gaze, and even fewer ignored her words completely. She leaned closer, her voice dropping to a whisper that carried through the deck. "You are weak, fragile, and predictable. Why should I waste my time with your kind?" The human turned slowly, his expression unchanged. He did not shout, did not beg, did not even plead. He simply said, "Then I will leave." He stepped back, and without another word, he walked toward the airlock. The princess blinked, stunned, for no human had ever responded to her in such a manner. As he left, a strange tension filled the deck. The guards who had flanked him froze, uncertain of what to do. The princess realized that his calm departure was not a sign of submission but a silent assertion of strength. Humans were unpredictable, yes, but in a way that demanded respect. She had insulted him, yet he had turned her arrogance into a display of his own confidence. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, and the human ship glided into the void. He had not fought, he had not bargained, but his actions spoke louder than any weapon or speech. On his home planet, his people would speak of this encounter for generations. Humans were not to be underestimated. They carried within them a quiet power, a steadfastness that could withstand ridicule, intimidation, and arrogance alike. The alien princess watched the distant glow of the human ship fade into the black, and for the first time in her life, she felt a spark of curiosity rather than disdain. Perhaps these humans were more than she had thought. Perhaps there was something in their simplicity and resolve that even a princess could not ignore. Weeks passed after the human envoy had departed. The alien princess could not shake the memory of his calm, deliberate exit. Her advisors whispered constantly about human weakness, about how he had shown disrespect by leaving without seeking permission to speak further. Yet she felt a strange unease whenever she thought of him. His silence had spoken louder than their entire council combined. Curiosity gnawed at her, a feeling foreign to someone who had ruled with certainty her entire life. She commanded her ship to follow the human convoy, keeping a discreet distance so he would not know. As she watched his people work with precision, coordinating their fleet with smooth efficiency, she realized that humans were not weak at all. They adapted, they endured, and they solved problems without unnecessary spectacle. One evening, she observed the human envoy stepping onto a planet surface ravaged by storms. He moved with purpose, directing relief efforts, offering guidance to his crew, and interacting with the locals with patience and respect. He did not complain about the harsh conditions, nor did he seek recognition. Every action, quiet yet deliberate, revealed a strength that could not be measured by traditional metrics of power. For the first time, the princess felt admiration mingled with a hint of envy. These humans, so seemingly fragile, carried a resilience unlike anything she had witnessed among her own kind. She saw their courage not in loud proclamations or flashy displays of technology, but in their willingness to act correctly even when no one watched. That night, aboard her ship, she pondered the lessons the human had unknowingly taught her. Pride was natural, arrogance tempting, but it was patience, calm, and unwavering resolve that commanded true respect. She realized that insulting him had not diminished him. It had revealed her own limitations. The next morning, she ordered her ship to rendezvous with the human convoy again, this time under a different intent. She did not plan to argue nor to assert superiority. She sought understanding, insight into a species that had shown her the value of restraint. Perhaps this encounter, which began with insult and pride, would evolve into something greater, a bridge between worlds built not on force, but on respect and shared wisdom. The 19-year-old alien princess, once certain of her own supremacy, now faced a new truth. Humans were unlike any other species she had met. and their strength lay not in power or rank, but in character, and she would learn from it, even if it meant humbling herself in the process. The alien princess approached the human convoy cautiously. Her pride had been tempered by weeks of observation, but she still carried the air of royalty that demanded attention. The human envoy was waiting, as if he had known she would come. He nodded politely, and for the first time she did not feel the need to insult him. She spoke carefully, each word measured. "I wish to understand your people. Your strength is unlike anything I have witnessed, and I realize now that my first judgment was flawed." The human listened, his expression calm, and he did not interrupt. He simply nodded and said, "Understanding begins with action, not words." She watched as he continued to work with his team, demonstrating strategies, sharing knowledge, and yet always deferring credit to those around him. The princess began to see a pattern in their behavior. Humans did not seek glory or dominance. They sought solutions, harmony, and progress. This was a form of strength that no alien empire had mastered. Days turned into weeks as the princess spent time learning from the humans. She walked among their engineers, studied their methods, and observed their decision-making. Her respect grew with each passing day, and with respect came an unexpected feeling: trust. She realized that humans could not be controlled through fear or intimidation, only by mutual respect and shared purpose. Then came a critical moment. A rogue asteroid threatened both the human fleet and her ship. Panic spread among her advisors, but she remained composed, recalling the calm of the human envoy. Together with the humans, she coordinated the response, aligning technology and strategy in ways she had never imagined. The asteroid was diverted, the fleets were safe, and the princess finally understood the lesson she had resisted for so long. True power lay not in insult or supremacy, but in unity, courage, and the quiet confidence to act without hesitation. As the human convoy prepared to depart, the princess stepped forward. This time she did not insult, nor did she command. She simply said, "Your people have taught me more than I could have imagined." The human envoy inclined his head, and she realized that respect had replaced arrogance, and admiration had replaced disdain. As the human ships disappeared into the stars, the 19-year-old alien princess felt a transformation within herself. Her empire would never be the same, for she now understood the value of human resilience, patience, and quiet strength, and she knew that one encounter, marked first by insult and pride, had forever changed her perception of power and what it truly meant to be strong.